Veritas, LaOta.
Invocation Veritas, honor, respect, and gratitude to Varus of the Sun. How
Mm,
are you today?
that's right, Tavares of the Sun. Thank you for putting some respect on it.
Yes,
I am of the
absolutely.
Sun. I'm doing fantastic. I would like to be out in the sun more. You know, the way my devices feel, it's a little hard for them.
Yeah,
But me, on the other hand, we're good.
yeah. So you may have to like leave the devices behind.
Apparently, you know, let's try to do the work outside thing. Nope. Nope. What is that? The device is like, that's it. And then it shows a little thermometer. You can't do anything. Put an ice pack on it. Maybe I should do a little fan mister or something.
I think you're
We'll
gonna have
see.
to find a shaded tree.
I don't think that works. It's just like the heat. I was under the shaded umbrella,
Oh,
and the heat was just too much for these little devices, these
yeah.
artificial constructs.
Yes.
So, anywho, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, we are here today. We're going to be talking about relationships.
Yes.
We're cycling back around, and one of our titles here is Why Attraction Dies. Like, what happens? We have these experiences where, you know, you feel all the butterflies and the ooey gooey stuff, and then at some point it just falls through the floor. Boom, 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 all the layers of the apartment, and then it goes down through the ground, and it's almost unrecoverable. And sometimes people are still trying to hold what's unrecoverable together, and so we're going to be exploring this because this is so real. And we're going to be using case studies from clients, and I know you all like that because it really lands and it mirrors whether it's something you've been through, something you're going through, something you're watching, eating your popcorn like, wow, I wonder what's going to happen with that. And ultimately discussing through laws and principles because what it appears to be is that these relationships are fizzling out and dying at an accelerated rate due to non-adherence to laws and principles, just mechanics, and some of the basic tenets that we have here, like things like honoring sovereignty and having respect and being in gratitude, being grateful. Thank you so much for bringing those groceries or that chocolate the other day. Appreciate it. It was just where I wanted it and just when I needed it.
Yes.
Ah, you thought about me. You're considerate.
Yes.
You considered me and not just you.
Yes.
So it's a lost art, it seems.
Well, I don't think it's lost, but I think today could be a nice reminder for those who are listening to review their own experience and
Mm.
see, um, are they giving attention in that way, and are they inspired to, which is really where I want to go. Yes.
Inspiration. I think that's a great point too. So, before we dive in, welcome everyone. We have a couple of announcements. So, we're at the end of the month. We have one more day for energetic protection and defense today. So, we're having a great time. We've covered some practices, we've covered some understandings like energetic boundaries. Like, put some boundaries up, establish what the consequences will be for the lack thereof. You know, it's important to uphold that because sometimes we'll say, "Oh, if you come over here with the negativity," and then they come over with the negativity, and we do nothing. We just let them rant and track up dirt and leave dirty dishes energetically in our space, which may just look like your field and conversation. And then we're upset at them because we were the consenting individual within the relationship. So a lot of what we're teaching in our classes is the understandings because there's a lot of um, like activations and like protocols that people have for protections, different sayings and workings. But if you don't have the appropriate understanding of how to function and what's happening energetically in the dynamic, those practices kind of collapse. They fall. They don't hold up.
It's even more than that. The practices work if you embody them. So it's not just the, the practices and the activations are the glory. They really are. However, if you just read it as if you're performing something you don't want to do, if you're not entering into the experience of it, if you don't mean what you say what you mean, if you're not fully engaged with it, you will get very little from it. What is required is that you embody what you decide to share. And if you're not in the mode of being able to embody it, if you're not at the right frequency, then
Mm.
you might need to go and raise your vibrations so that you can be in accord with what you say you're in accord with. so that you don't trick yourself through self-sabotage of saying, I did it and see nothing happen.
You see, at the yeah, like stop
This
that.
trick, this consciousness trick of, I'm not going to put the right energy into it, so I won't get the right energy out of it, and see, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm.
So, everything requires us to move into something. We're, as a species, we're a bit passive with ourselves.
Oh, so passive. And this is speaking back to the example, just allowing and permitting and won't hold the pitch. But everything you're saying is the truth. This is what allows protection and defense to occur. Or really protection. Because defense is, well, I'll say defense is usually like when the shift hits the fan, and it's like, oh, I didn't do my practices or I wasn't holding the pitch. But the protection is you, as you say. And that embodiment, that's key. And, it requires us to pop out of the malaise of walking through life like this. Part of one of the modalities is to take up space. Don't just open that chest, drop those shoulders, change the body language, raise the energy of the spinal column. See yourself in everything, and that you can influence based off of your vibratory field, and then watch what happens. Instead of, LaOta, Tavares, it didn't work. I did it. I did Ho'oponopono. I'm still the same. I'm still mad. True story. True story. There's like multiple stories. And like this unwillingness to feel or move into it, but it requires assertiveness. And so we've been talking about that a lot.
It's so funny because um, in the act is the victory. Like, if you actually do it correctly, it is impossible for it not to work. It's like, if you actually smile, your brain will flood with the hormones that heals you and makes you better.
That's right.
It's automatic. It's not as you, if you frown the whole way, you will get the result of what frowning does to your brain chemistry.
Yes.
And then the rest of the body will echo that, because the body is the extension of the brain.
Well, so let me tell you, I be in the gym, smiling, lifting, because most of these straight, yes, changing the chemistry. Because it's a thing when you're stretching the muscles.
That's how the practices work. If you say the practices, if you would at least be at neutral. You put the car in neutral and say, I'm thankful, and you're at neutral. You're not on your knees yet, but you're willing to be on your knees.
It's like, I guess I can just.
The frequency of gratitude will surround you. So it's not about, it is not that it doesn't work. It's that this is a free choice universe, and you don't have to allow it to work. You can choose not to allow something that works for you to work. That's
very much the case.
You can choose, to continue to frown on a sunny day.
Yeah.
But
the visual in my mind is so funny. Please continue.
So we recently completed Luminous Light Method, and I'm so excited to say those who are pacing with Of the Sun are doing so well. At the end of the last day of class, which was this week, we were able, through calibration, which is a class that's coming up very soon in a few weeks, through calibration to identify the expansiveness through the principle of wealth, because wealth is money, but it's not just money. It is having greater self-esteem, having more power, understanding yourself more, realizing you have tools that can make you greater. That we were able to calibrate that and show it to the students and so that they could then see the level of increase. It was not a comparison, it was an increase of what has happened in the 3 days of class over the course of the week. And it was really exciting to see it. And we're really pleased that as we add light, as we learn how to use light, as we have respect for the light of which we are made, and that we can call back into our experience, of course, it pulses out, and it gives us more opportunity, more of everything, more oxygen, more money, more friendship, more laughter, more nutrients, more.
Yeah, more and more and more.
Yes.
But wait. Yeah, you said it in your mind, didn't you? There's more. Okay. Yeah, so this is great. So we're looking forward to the next one. We got to double check the date, but I know that you're doing this at least every other month.
If we have enough people who are interested, I'll do it in 2 months again. And there's so much more to embody in this changing time of the deconstruction of the empire and the rise of humanity into a new era. There's much for those who want to be on the side of the rise. There's much to be added to them that doesn't require you to go get a degree, doesn't require you to kiss a ring. You don't have to be on your knees. You don't have to pray at the altar. You don't have to show up at church on Sunday morning. You have to decide that you will be what your original design was and embody that and allow yourself to have ways to decompartmentalize what has kept you from yourself. So this is very exciting.
That's right. Again, looking forward to it. So we're already at the end of July.
I know, it's amazing. The time has sped up because we're in a hurry to get to the next thing.
Right? It's like,
Because
come on, hurry up,
everybody's
self.
ready for this to end.
Yes. It's like, when is the next season? This season, you have to go through.
Everybody's ready for the next step for humanity. Everybody's ready for, all right, if it's going to be an alien invasion, let's get on with it.
Right? Oh my God. And I love the disposition of the people. They're like, look, man, we need the aliens. You all are running late. It's like, it's so funny. Okay, so again, being that we're at the end of the month, moving into August, we're starting with our next phase of the light body movement,
Yes.
where we're moving into the sacral chakra.
So exciting.
Oh my gosh, I would love for us to just to cover the root chakra, kind of like a recap,
Yeah.
in one of the next episodes, because there is just so much wealth, so much understandings that came forth, and I was sharing with you, and I think in class, that phase 3 is my favorite, and I know you're like, I mean, there's always increase, but no, you don't get it. Like, I see the depth that's required, where you, to understand what these energy centers is, and the divine intelligence that has been guiding us through the process, you can't get what we gained by skipping rock across the surface.
No. There's the most important thing is the method of, we have been gifted with a method of cleaning the energy vortexes of the debris of the unresolved emotional experiences of a lifetime. And once that happens, your experience becomes so much greater because your energy vortexes are not congested with old undigested ideas of what someone said to you when you were 10 and what your mother said or what your father said or your first boyfriend, or all of that has an opportunity to clear, and then you get to see the power that's available that was congested by our misunderstandings of who we are, what we allowed to affect us, what we gave authority and credence to. And we're going to talk about that more, about how, what another person thinks and what value that should have on your life. Somebody said something to you 50 years ago in their ignorance,
Still dragging that bag around.
when they were 10, in their ignorance, and it's still imprinted on your energy vortexes.
All right, 2 things. One, it just dawned on me, relationship conversation, we're moving into sacral relationships.
Yes.
Beautiful, right? But then I saw this clip, this hilarious social media clip of this guy saying, look, I can't spend time giving energy and attention to people who got parasites, who got this, who got that, who over here eating processed food, who over here doing such and such. And it's like, why am I giving this weight? And he's like, I'm done. And it makes me think about what you just said about how we have given so much weight and credence to people and experiences that were just in detriment, and allowed that to overlay on our identity and how we perceive ourselves. And it doesn't make any sense in the scheme of things. My flip on that is, why would I give attention and energy to someone who's not operating in law? They clearly are not operating and functioning in it. They may not even know about it. So It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but we have lived a life before that discovery. Before you
Well,
discovered that you shouldn't do that,
well, of course you got
you,
to.
so you have to go back through the files. You may have to go back through the files and look at that first boyfriend, first girlfriend, and
Oh yeah, it messed me up. Like, oh gosh. Oh, insecurities, doubts, self-hatred.
and then apply your mature understanding to whatever the reason was. It doesn't trump the probability of who you could grow into had you not taken in what they said and given it so much honor, so much respect that it handicapped you because you gave them because of whatever position of authority you gave them in your experience.
Okay. Just doing a mic check. You mind pulling your kimono, like tugging on the other side? Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
My
Might-
mic,
yeah.
my mic's on.
Yeah. We might have to get lighter mics because the mics create wardrobe malfunction sometimes, and
Or winter clothes.
yeah, some is more sturdy. So but anywho, yes, what you're saying and the examples that you're putting out there, what comes to mind is how these things have carried into our relationships, our love life, our relationships with our family. We're really talking about like lovers, but it transcends that, and we can see these same examples and principles in all dynamics of relationships.
Absolutely, and we see it with mothers with children. We see it with parents, the parents to the child to the parents, the child to other children, to teachers, to attribute it to all relationships, which are not necessarily even intimate relationships, where someone says, oh, that guy looks funny over there. And then 20 years later, you're like, I guess I look funny. They said, when we are so willing to digest and take in the lower expression. Well, you said something that I didn't like, so that's the thing I'm going to think about for the next 5 years. Whether it's true or not, I think I'll just focus on the thing you said I didn't like, and then in my mind, I'll justify it, but I won't say anything or get rid of it. I'll just get mad at you.
Yeah, but what I've come to understand, that's in some level, they believe it. The person who's
Yes.
receiving it, they're like, mm. And in resonance in it and stuck like glue, and it's adhered, and it's hard to take that off when you yourself believe the very thing that they're projecting onto you.
It's true, and we have to adopt this idea. You say something to me, I'm like,
Who you talking?
like that didn't land on me because I don't believe that.
I love how people are like, look, I know you're not talking to me. Who you talking to? And it's like you're the only one in the room.
It's like there must be somebody else in there. You think you're talking to the wings?
Yeah, because can't be me. And
And that's
I like
protection.
that. Yeah.
And let me tell you why that's
Please
protection.
speak on it.
Yeah, the reason it's protection for you to not accept the lower experience that someone's directing towards you is because your love of self doesn't adhere to their lower experience or what they think about you. So this is back to what you think doesn't have more value than the love I have for self. My love of self doesn't resonate with that, so it doesn't stick in my energy vortexes in my chakra system, so I don't have to carry this compartmentalized through every single relationship with everybody else because I haven't released it yet in the moment in which it took place. It's like someone says something and it's low frequency and it doesn't resonate. Let it fall to the ground and break into 1,000,000 pieces. Don't take it in and hold it and coddle it and, oh, poor little wrongdoer. Yeah, we're together forever.
Like Humpty Dumpty. Don't put it back. Nobody touch it. Leave it be.
Yeah, allow things to it doesn't animate itself. You animate it.
Yes, yes.
The thing that someone says to you, your partner, your parents, anything, anybody in your life, the thing, it is in itself without animation. It is up to you as to whether you will give it life or you will not.
You know, I'm hearing you say that, and you know, I live this with you. I remember when you first introduced me to that, and then I began to observe it. It rocked my world.
Yeah.
It rocked my world. Look, when I say the world revolves around you, it does, but for everybody else too. But when you realize, okay, for example, because I like to do case studies, and I would go out in public and I'm like, okay, let me see what she's talking about, this animating thing and what you focus on. And so I know pretty much everyone in the conference has seen this, where you look at somebody and then they look back at you. It's like they can feel your consciousness. It's like, oh, and then they, you break your gaze because it's kind of awkward, like what? But you feel something, so there's an animation taking place. So I started seeing it in the most subtle yet common, ignored areas of life, and then begin to scale it up in the one-to-one or circumstances where there may be like negativity, and seeing like if I don't focus on it, like the baby crying or the siren, it will diminish. It needs my attention because my attention amplifies it. And it was like, OMG, this is how reality works. And then, you see it and you just square it and apply it everywhere. But that gravity right there, it's one of those things where you have to experience it to really understand it.
Well, we all experience it all the time. It's just that we're not cognizant of what is really happening, but it's so easy to see it because we can see it once you get it in its simplest form, which is in a baby or a child. You have a dog or a baby, and they'll look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Yeah, and
you look at them and they stop.
And and the reason they do that is they feel we are electrical and magnetic. When I look away, they don't feel what they feel when I look at them. It is the same way when you look into someone's eyes, there is a connection that is not only electrical, but it is magnetized, and that makes the person feel something depending on what the thought is. So when you're holding a baby and the baby's like, move your face back over here.
Yeah.
It's because
that electricity.
The gaze, the electricity and the magnetism feels good. They're being...
It's that warmth of consciousness, warmth of the light.
It's what you actually said. It's the truth of consciousness. It's like they are in that experience. Same thing happens when, you've got a pet or something that wants to have you constantly touch it because it feels good to have the electrical impulse or the magnetism, but there are other things that have to take place, So this idea of animation goes further than that. When you're thinking about someone, you animate them and then they call.
That's right. I was just thinking of you.
Then you're like, just after I thought about you.
Yeah. Animation.
Yes. Because if they're open to it, they feel it, and sometimes they feel it and they resist it. It doesn't mean you always get the call, but I know you feel that, even if you're resisting calling.
Yeah.
So there is all of this that goes on in the relationship, all of these not so subtle things. These are big things. The light of the power that is within your gaze is clearly being shown to us in a million different ways in our lifetime, and I'm sure everybody could identify with those examples I just gave. And then when I brought it to your attention, I don't know how many years ago that was, and then you went out and practiced it in the street.
In the streets. I needed the real life experience, and again, seeing the power of consciousness in effect. It made me even more prudent. It made me more mindful and conscientious of where I'm giving attention to, and especially like aggressors. So for example, energetic protection and defense, stop thinking about the person who's like, don't turn your face away, because you know how they say, feel the breeze. Yeah, feel the breeze, because the light and the warmth of your consciousness is no longer beaming on them, no longer animating them, and it fizzles out. It's such a powerful tool, and not just with people, but thought forms and other things that may be arising. And it's not that we're like ignoring it, but at the same time, it's like I want to focus on what's giving life, what's going to help me grow, what's going to help me evolve, not like the worst thing or the negativity that's coming from the person or arising within me.
Yes, because it isn't just the electricity that's being transmitted. It isn't just the magnetism. It's what came along with it.
Yeah,
Somebody, yeah,
frequency
yeah.
riding
It's
that
the
wave.
frequency of I don't like what you said. I'm thinking about you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like what you said. I'm thinking about it again. And until you have animated the thing that you are thinking about in that energy pattern, it's not like if you were thinking, "Oh, I love you so much." Oh, I love you so much.
it's,
Oh, that's a different
it's a
thing.
very different waveform.
Yes, and so the waveform is different, the intent is different, and you don't activate the lower fields that are not in your favor and that do not make you healthy, beautiful, live long and wise. You know, you're animating the things in the body that flood the system with something that is not joy. It would be the opposite of joy, the opposite of love.
Yeah, these are very important concepts. I love the language of flooding the system because you mentioned like, yeah, we kind of know these things, but we're not cognizant of when it happens. We were discussing, and by the way, I, I'm locked and loaded to jump into the
Okay.
conversation. This is appetizer for you all. We're just having apps, apps on us today. Have at it.
We can start whenever you're
Family
ready.
size shirt. No, but this point of what floods the system and the importance of understanding how the thoughts impact biology. We were speaking about disease and cancer and resentment, and you were saying, you know what it takes to withhold love in the face of someone who's like, here you go, just showing love in whatever way that they do, and it's like, nope, I don't want to, I'm not letting you in. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't even, it seems so rigid, so stern, so hard, so calcified,
Because
like
it
nothing is
is.
flowing through.
Because
It's
it
like,
is.
ooh, what develops in that type of environment?
Yes, what is the body ecology? What happens in the ecology in the body when a child wants to climb on your lap and give you a kiss and you're like, no, get away from me? You know,
I'm
it's the
laughing 'cause
same thing if you're the wife and you're like, you want to, and somebody pulls away. It's the same thing when you're in a relationship with a friend and you want to pat them on the back and they're like, no, don't be patting me on the back.
yeah, get your hands off. Get your dirty,
Yeah.
stinking
That
hands off.
withholding love is by far, it's not about material wealth. The wealth is in being able to love and be loved, understanding the exchange, that there is the law in this universe is reciprocity. I love you, you love me back. That is the law. If I love you and you decide to run down the street with it and not return it, then that's something else.
Yeah.
That's not in the law, and that's what people like to call responsibility, but it's not responsibility. It's reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
And one of the things that happens is that when we, and this is very important, that when we extend our love, we should be fine with where it lands. You know, like if it lands in a way that you want to return it, good. If it doesn't, my soul is better for it. You do what you want to with it. I'm flooded with alkaline energy that's going to make me adorable.
That's right. Let them know.
Yeah. So I don't know what you're going to do with yours, but or not do with it. But I'm determined to be that which is what will give life. So when we have children in general, we're not expecting when we change their diaper for them to get up and do something for us, you know.
No, it's a very different experience.
And so that same understanding, which is, you know, how wonderful it is to be a parent, so you can learn that you do many, many, many things with having absolutely no expectation other than that it's right to do, and it arises naturally in you as a way to improve, protect, and encourage life. That's what we should take into our relationships.
Indeed. So let's
We don't always, you know.
No, it's like once the child grows up. It's for example, it seems like humans extend love to children and animals, and it stops there. Once they grow up, become adults, it's weird frowns and faces, and it just changes. And I think there's a lot of different things associated with that, like the loss of purity, and then the overlays of the distortion, trauma that's unresolved. And we have one of these divination cards that's like, be like a child, get over it, so that you can stay pure, so that you can stay within the heart, continue to let things flow. But I'd like to kind of dive a little more into our podcast. And so we got quite a few people joining us. Welcome, welcome. Again, we're talking about the real reason why attraction dies. And I have a list of bullet points. And one of the first things I'd like to start off on is, within relationships, we end up choosing experiences that are rooted in suffering. We're in, you smirking already. How many of you, do you or someone you know have a long-standing relationship that's rooted in suffering? If so, you may need to sever those toxic bonds. Visit ofthesun.com. So what's up with that? Would you kick us off with what's driving being in experiences where we're with people and clearly suffering, but we choose to stay in it? We almost feel like, I made this investment, it's like in stocks, and the stock just keep plummeting, and we're scared to pull out because we think one day it's going to shoot back up. Or it's like hoarding cards and coins, like one day this is going to be valuable, and it just continues to degrade over time, and we're ignoring that.
I don't actually even think we think that. I think we know that that's not the case. But
Well, I think we do know.
Yeah.
If I may,
Yeah.
I was in a relationship for 4 years. 2 years in, both of us knew. We knew it was over, but we were like, this investment though.
How old were you at the time?
I was in my early 20s.
Okay, so tell me about your investment. You're 24 or 22, and you've got 4 years in, and your life is, you're going to decide that.
When we're young, we think like, if we don't go to college at a certain time that society wants us to, we think life is over, and if the relationship fails, what am I going to do?
And there are people who are listening who think that way, so this is valuable.
Yeah, it's and distorted, valuable and distorted. It's like, because fast forward, I'm looking back like, dude, that was only 4 years, and I learned so much.
Yeah.
I gained. I realized, when you see the stock plummet, sell it. Let it go. And it's okay. It's okay. It's best for both parties, because what's best for me and my best and highest interest is in the best and highest interest for all parties. We both knew we were suffering. No one just wanted to let go. So it's, again, we were choosing to continue to suffer.
Yeah, so if I may start from the beginning.
Take us all the way to the beginning.
So this is not something that can be answered. Anything I say is the middle of the paragraph, because we have been taught to feel that it's virtuous to suffer. We want people to be responsible and suffer. We want to teach humanity to do that. We want you, like, you do the thing that you don't want to do to prove you're a man, or you do the thing you don't want to do. So it starts there. It starts at
I might have to step off. It's just funny to me. I mean, it's hummingbird energy. We talk about, that's another combo, inside joke, hummingbirds with joy. But yes, everything you're saying is so true.
So what happens is we are not separate from that which is in our society that shares with us. That's what Jesus did, suffer. That life is suffering. That's what you not suffering, you probably not living the righteous life. You know that. So there's that understanding in the world that we live in, that we have all been baptized in and bathed in repeatedly, and often took showers in it, did all kinds of things in it, and it's in the background, playing in the background silently, and we think that we are not doing that, but it is part of the ecology of our lives. It's part of the environment of being human in this day and time. that this is the overarching idea in all of the world religions that lets us know, and people are constantly saying life is suffering, when in fact that's a choice. You
Speak
know,
on it.
at the same time, you are here to learn things. So there should be an expectation that the things that come to you that are intense enough to change your mind are perfect.
Yeah, LaOta, and I say this with compassion, a little slow. Because you like my mic. Get my mic right. A little slow. I say slow because, and I'm speaking about my own self. How many times have I had to have the same experience over and over and over and over in order for it to sink in? And the suffering part comes from the la 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 la. I know, I got this guidance. Let me do me, and this egoic drive that's based off of some distortion. It's not based on what's in your best and highest interest. And that, from my understanding at this time, is what is responsible for the suffering. Like, we're not listening, or we're not honoring the truth that arises when it's like, hey, you need to leave this relationship or end it, or don't go out with this person, or go visit the family, whatever it is. And then we stuff it down because solar plexus, oh, well, what will they think of me if I dare do the thing that my biology, my guidance is telling me to do? I want them to like me, and that was part of my issue, and so I think we know, and we suffer because we're like, no, 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 like stuffing it down.
There is also this false sense of feeling like we must have the person's blessing, like they have to like us, that they have to be in agreement, that what they say determines who we actually are. So if they say, well, you're not being the person I thought you were, then you're like, oh, I'm not being the person they thought. Well, that might be your opinion of what happened, but how about I'm being who I need to be for me
That's
at this
right.
time? So that my purpose of being on earth to learn and grow takes place. How about you are saying that we had a past life together. How about that didn't work out?
Look, we did it probably 2, 3 times. Let's move beyond that. Let's leave that in the past. True story. We have clients who are like, well, we have past lives and unfinished business. We have a contract. We have to complete the contract, LaOta.
Yeah, part of having a contract is you could change it.
That's right. You could contract null and void.
You could strike out
Yes.
areas and we have a contract to be on earth and to be with whomever. You have a contract with your parents and with the tree in the backyard, and this is how you designed it, and the lessons that were learned are at the exact intensity that you need to have them to shift you into the experience. Some people wait till they're 40 and then they have an epiphany. Some people have to go to jail. Some people have to have addictions and get over it, and then they hit their epiphany, and then they move into what they originally planned to have happen. We should not ignore that. We should not pretend that doesn't exist, that the person who is our partner and who's standing in front of us is the being who knows all about all of the many lifetimes and all of the many things, and that they are the ones who can sentence us to a lifetime of joy if we would just do everything they said. Because it's unlikely.
It very much. Has that ever worked out for you? Drop a comment. Let us know if it has. It's likely we won't see any comments. Because it hasn't. It does not work. It always backfires. Anytime we're trying to make someone do the thing that we're unwilling to do for ourselves, would you speak a little more about that? Because it's ever pervasive.
The idea of trying to make someone bring you the experience that you want to have without your active participation in it is enslavement. This world is enslavement. Slavery never stopped. It's still ongoing and booming in many places, including America.
Yeah.
But the difference is that now people enlist to slavery instead of having to be necessarily captured. Not saying that doesn't
To death
exist.
do us part.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
and a variety of other things, like enlist into jobs and into institutions and into religions where then they're pushed around and kicked around doing something that uh, they didn't necessarily want to do, and then feeling like, well, this is appropriate. If I'm at the appropriate pitch of suffering, that's what's supposed to happen. That's what the lexicon is saying. That's what my ecology is saying. That's what my grandparents were saying. That's what everybody is saying. The preacher said life is suffering, but in point of fact, it doesn't have to be that way, but we are oriented that way on purpose, because the reason why is that suffering is an attractive and meal for many beings who are unhoused. There are many who are in creation, who are part of creation, part of the system, who thrive on you standing in line at TSA. You thrive on you being backed up in traffic. Thrive on your relationship being where you're on the cell phone yelling at each other and then you get a ticket.
I want to build on this from a recent social event that's been going on. So there's been a lot of stirring up of attempts of race war, and stirring up the emotions. And I saw something on TikTok about there was some young black boy who was with his white friends and on a boat, and like the black kid never came back. And so it's a big thing in the media. I don't know if it's Mississippi, Alabama, somewhere over there. It's a southern state, and the town everybody's colluding to cover it up, from the coroner, the judge, the police, everybody, even the children. So, and social media, everybody's a detective nowadays, and calling out the facts. And so, it's funny, but it's also cool to see. But my point is, it came up in my feed. I was like, oh, this is still a thing. And then I thought, oh, look at the suffering around this. Like, they're stirring the pot of the suffering. I'm like, ooh, man, where's this energy going? It's as though it's a TV show, and they're continuing to drop episodes. I was like, this is still in the news. But like you said, the suffering, somebody's feeding off of this emotional loosh, this energy.
Well, it's so interesting because everybody who's listening to this probably knows that if you want to say something, it is gate kept. So what we do here is allowed. So whatever you hear that stirs the emotions and makes you want to riot or makes you, that's being allowed on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to really examine what are you seeing, because it's not happening spontaneously. We don't get spontaneous news in this country anymore.
No.
We have to go look for news if we want to know what's going on in the world, because it is not spontaneously available, and it is often unavailable for us to get on social media. So if something does come forward that has an emotional charge that upsets everybody who's listening on either side of the question, that's being allowed. That's on purpose and by design. And that is looking to control your emotions, because the emotions will be harvested by the ones who run this farm. They will harvest those emotions. This is what they eat. This is what they digest. Your sadness, your depression, all the things that you allow yourself. Well, life is suffering, and I'm just suffering along with it. All of that, those decisions to allow yourself to do the thing that you think the world is and life is, are all feeding something else. So that's a real understanding to have. And we're still going back to the question about relationships. So we're choosing suffering mostly by default and unconsciously, but sometimes consciously as well. We're choosing partners who cannot satisfy who we are and what we want. We're making excuses for, well, they're not a frequency match, but they're the ones standing here.
It's like, you must be the one.
You smiled at me.
Hey,
that's a match.
Look, we got to do better.
And then
we got to do better.
and so then we make these choices, and we're so free that we choose suffering and enslavement. We're so free, and then we get mad when the other person is not in accord with the level of suffering that we have chosen to exist in.
Yeah, you're like, you don't want to suffer with me? What's wrong with you? You don't love me.
You're not going to fight for this suffering? That's the one that I hear. The
Yeah,
most is
yeah.
like, you're not going to fight for this? I'm like,
It's like, nah,
no.
nah, it's not my fight.
That's between you and your suffering.
Yeah. It goes back to the you were saying the Jesus Christ thing. I like to call it the Jesus Christ syndrome, where it's like, I will suffer and sacrifice for you to show I love you. But that ain't love. What is love?
Love does not look like that.
What is it though? Because
But
we think it is.
we know what it is. We can, again, you go back to the example of you were a child, someone loved you, or you wouldn't exist right now. There
True
had
that.
to be love to get you grown enough to hear this
Wow. So like
podcast.
we are very far away. Because remember at the top of the convo, we were like, children and animals. And somewhere
Well,
along the gradient, we
well,
lose it.
we could look at nature, but we could look at ourselves in nature. There is a chemical that arises within us that wants to protect that which is too innocent and it does not have protection. And it is, in fact, love that protects people. And people are not protected because they are not being loved. Because they're not inspiring what that baby inspires in us, innocence and beauty and future and trajectories and probabilities. You know, many relationships don't have those things.
Now I want to kind of pivot a bit. We understand that you can't give what you don't have, and how in order to experience more love, you have to give your own self-love. So would you speak on that a little bit more? Because I will say this, you mentioned earlier about light body, and well, my mind went to light body, but the example you gave was when someone says something and it don't even adhere, you know, something derogatory or negative, and you're just like, who are you talking to? I don't know, and then it drops, and you know, because you've been cultivating self-love, you've been cultivating maybe frequencies of truth and being grateful and your self-value. So it's like that can't even adhere, and you get to experience more of that in the other, but it's as though we don't see it that way. It's like, I want you to love me. I want you to look in my eyes, like the
Animate
baby
me.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. And tell me how much you love me. Don't look at nobody else. Look at me only. If you do, I'm gonna cry. Loud. Pacifier won't stop this. Come on, get with it. So this, essentially, my point is, would you speak more on the power of giving yourself what you need, and how we've really been tricked, but my experience has been, I give myself what I need, it expands, and I see it. Like I'll give you an example. Being in joy and being in gratitude more by way of light body. I remember going out one day, and it's like everybody I encountered and had a real interaction with, whether it was brief or long, I'm like, why is everybody so happy? Like, oddly happy. I was like, bro, you're like an NPC just programmed with happy I'm doing great today. I'm like, you extra great. Me too. But I saw it was this principle though. Would you speak on the mechanics and the power of this?
This again starts back at the beginning of how it is that how we orient ourselves based on what we see when we're growing up in the house. Do we see grandma? Is grandma having a satisfying and fulfilling life? Is mom, happy with the experiences that she's having? Is there respect between whoever the adults are in the house, whatever their positions are? Do they speak to each other with a level of respect? This is where you learn to love yourself. You remember, respect is love adjacent. You have value for self because you see what value for self looks like. You don't have it, you're not born with that only knowing that, because you're a blank slate, so to say. You're imprintable. So what is around you imprints you, and if there's confusion about whether you're respected, whether you hold yourself in a level of respect, whether you make decisions based on that, what your parents, your siblings, and all the ones who are in your field, this is where you learn to have the experience of what you give self. This is really not about outside. It's about what do you honor yourself with? What are you willing to give self? Are you willing to think lovely thoughts about yourself? Or do you think the thoughts that are most detrimental about yourself too. Do you think you're a liar? Do you think you can't do that? You think you're stupid? You think you're not beautiful? And then you're filling up your menu with that. You got a buffet of all of this when you could have the joy buffet. But I would share with you that it is so absent from our experience that it must be cultivated from the point at which either you know enough to now influence the ones around you, or you come to the level of wanting something better where you actively pursue joy.
That part, yeah, kind of want to hone in on that because, I'm sure there's probably people who had the thought of when you said, look, we become what we experience in our environment. We see lack of value in the relationships with our parents, our grandparents, and family members. That's almost all we know. And I was thinking and thought, well, how does one pop out of that if that's all they have in their field? And you literally answered it. Okay, let me do the opposite. Because clearly this isn't working. Let me try having a little value. And I know it is a little challenging because there's a reaction with it, and we experience this with clients. Actually, I want to kind of pivot into this. I have a client where she's realizing, ooh, I done put myself in a funny situation. And this is actually very universal with women and men in the dynamic of where women kind of give up their sovereignty for like stability financially through a male who is dominating and controlling. And then when they want to be free, there's the fear of, I won't have the lifestyle or the status from this experience. So there's this sacrifice that has happened. And then, usually when women are with of a son, they're getting free and liberated and start feeling themselves. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to be sovereign. I'm going to be in my power. And it's like, woman, sit down. There's a reaction in the field because she has been the same for so long. And this is the same principle with any relationship. Anytime you change with family or friends and then they say something along the lines like, you're acting brand new, you've never done this before, or you're the one who's being different. As a matter of fact, yes, I am. But how does one deal with the change of you start realizing I'm not being valued, let me give myself more value, and how that translates, it almost seems like a negative to the other person because you won't submit.
This is one of those situations that we have such an excellent response to from Father Tree, when the trees told us that everything has its season, everything gets its nutrients, everything has its moment to be green, then everything has its opportunity to be renewed and go back into the earth. And when it doesn't go back into the earth, when you don't release when it has expired and you don't release it, it then becomes a parasite that then can poison the entire tree, even though it's just a little leaf, unless it falls to be reunited into the scheme of things and be part of the entire tree system. So you love someone, or you are in an experience that maybe is not love, they are now part of the entire system of your growth and your development and your expansion. It's okay if that leaf life is over. Maybe the next life for them is branch. Maybe the next life for them is
compost.
Yes.
Nutrients,
yes.
minerals.
Yes. So when you think of yourself as separate, you don't realize you're not separate when you move on to another experience that will give you more and help you grow. It helps the other person too.
Yes.
It helps the person you left behind. Because you didn't really leave them. They're still part of your energy dynamic.
Yes. So I'm seeing this is why it is so imperative that we call for the truth. Because if we're not in the truth, we won't be able to see the dead leaves and allow them to rightfully relieve themselves of the experience. We hold on to, I saw this visual of, leaf, I'm not going to let you go. I'm going to tape you and keep you, try to keep you adhered.
Yeah,
You see, it's all diseased and
that is not
yellowing.
Sacred symbiosis.
No.
That is not sacred symbiosis, which is what we should be looking for, where everything feeds everything, but there is no way for you not to feed the people who you have been in relationship with. It's just what kind of nutrients are you giving them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
This is something we could talk about for hours and do many shows on, but I think this is a good beginning. I hope that this has touched some of you and it makes sense to some of you. Do we have any comments?
We got a lot of comments. People are active. Thank you all for sticking with us in this conversation. It looks like it was really landing. And LaOta, I had more bullet points lined up. We haven't even gotten through half
I'll
of
be
them,
happy
so
to
we
do
can
this
keep it going.
on the next
Yeah.
podcast.
So we'll keep talking about relationships, especially because it looks like it's resonating with you all. How about this? We're going to go to a quick commercial break, do a message from our sponsor, LaOta, and then we will return back, get to the comments, give you all a shout out, and then we'll wrap up. So thanks again for sticking with us, and stick around for another moment for our sponsor.
Alex, you're the owner of LaOta Group. How is LaOta Group changing how investors buy and store gold?
Most people think buying gold means walking into a store and hoping you're getting the right price. We've built a LaOta Group to erase that friction and modernize how the world owns gold. At LaOta, we're merging centuries of trust with 21st century technology. Investors can now buy institutional grade gold, refined, verified, and insured with the same simplicity as buying a stock. But the real innovation is in custody. Every ounce is vaulted in top-tier facilities, audited independently, and fully allocated, meaning it's yours, not a promise on paper. Whether you're in Dubai, London, or Singapore, you can verify your holdings in real time and even request physical delivery. We've removed the mystery from gold ownership and replaced it with transparency, liquidity, and control. LaOta Group isn't selling gold. We're restoring trust in money itself. Because the future of gold isn't old-fashioned. It's personal, digital, and deliverable.
Alex, you
All right. And visit alukainc.com for assets management, wealth protection, and investments. And we give honor, respect, and gratitude to Alex for sponsoring the Other Sun live stream. And so again, we're talking about relationships, everyone, and the reason why the attraction dies, why it drops off and disappears. And we haven't even had breakfast yet because we have so many other aspects, but like you said, this was a great way to start this, or start back up, because we had a hot run speaking about relationships.
It's very important that we don't do sound bites in these deep questions that people have or the experiences that they're having. They don't remember to look back at how they have been cultivated. Why is it that humanity is in the position we're in? Who is it servicing? Who is eating from our suffering?
Mm-hmm.
Who is it that is cultivating? This is not something we have chosen, but it has made itself our choice through the trickery in which this has been done to humanity.
The trickery, because it is one big trick. It's
Yeah,
like,
it is.
oh, using you against you to feed something that you can't even see right
What
now.
a better way to conquer a people than to disrupt the divine masculine and the divine feminine that are both two polarities of the same creation principle, to disrupt them through misunderstanding and through subjugation and silencing.
Yeah, we haven't.
So
Next episode,
yes.
dive deep into that.
Yes.
Because that was one of the pieces in the bullet points to speak about that. I'm going to the comments also.
Okay.
Trying to stop with the conversation. So, in Lakesh Veritas, everyone. Looks like we have in Lakesh Studio 1 in the house. Serenia MacArthur, Stephanie of the Sun, Stacy OTS, Cheryl Leonard, Gina. Okay, whenever you all leave a long comment with your in Lakesh, I'm going to read it. She says, in Lakesh Veritas, honor, respect, and gratitude, integrity, discipline, and action. May we release our suffering and be the truth. That's right, because we
Yes.
suffer
Yes.
until we don't.
Yeah, this is the clarion call of the sun. Release your suffering. Be the truth. The truth of who you are is not suffering.
Oh gosh, LaOta, I'd like us to do a podcast on truth. This last root chakra experience, seeing the truth, I'm like, man, LaOta, that call for the
Put
truth.
it on the
but
list.
The idea of truth, it is the way. That's all I gotta say right now, today. All right. Thank you, Gina. Serenia's in the house. Serenia says, yes, so grateful for the wealth increase. So we got many people experiencing it. It's happening in the field. Every day I get a conversation from LaOta. She's like, "Oh, guess what happened with so and so? There's an expansion. There's more wealth, you know." And it's like the wealth update. So maybe continue to stretch to see the wealth. If you're part of the collective, it's happening. You know, just clean your glasses a little bit and stay in the frequency.
Step over all those crumbling walls of limitation and suffering
Yes.
into the wealth.
Yes. Soul Smile today says, in Lakesh Veritas Sun families, Steph of the Sun says, you can feel the rise of the newness in the environment. Yes, yes. Elizabeth says in Lakesh Veritas, Julianne Reynolds, don't take what people say personally, only if it resonates with your own inner authority.
Absolutely.
Stacy OTS says, self-love and higher frequencies truly are the protection, acknowledging the projections and sending them on their way. Wondering Jet says, hey everyone, this is good. So is it our perception on people or things that change our relations to our relationships and environment? So this is a genuine question here. Again,
would you read it again?
Yeah, I most certainly will. And I'll put this up on the screen for everyone. Wondering Jet says, is it our perception on people or things that change our relations
Absolutely.
to our relationships and environment?
Absolutely. It's all about our whole world is our perception. That's what manifesting what you want is manifesting your perception of what you want. That's exactly what it is. And we are influenced out of our own desires by the prevailing, overarching ecology of the environment of the world that we live in. So we are inculcated with things we don't actually believe because it's the ruling energy in our environment. So our perception is everything, and perception is not the truth, and it can be changed to the truth.
I want to speak a little on that. I have seen in my direct experience that our perception of another can stunt and limit their growth through what we're projecting. You know, let's say you see somebody doing something that could be corrected and you just keep condemning them, then your perception becomes they're incompetent and they're not capable. And you get to experience more of that within them, but you shift your perception of them into, oh, let me have a little more compassion. This person's working through their process or going through their lesson. Let me, whoa now, thought forms, you know, sit over there and take more control to broadcast something that's more uplifting and supportive. Next thing you know, oh, there's some competency here, you know, because we've kind of shifted the perception. So I so feel what you're saying.
Yeah, it's very, you can flip this when you think about, this happens, and I often use examples with children because I've raised a lot of children, that sometimes certain children, you have to watch them and wait for them to do something right. So you can give them the proper perception.
I feel like you got the binoculars.
You're like, you gotta have the cameras running, got the alarm set, so that you can reinforce in them the thing that is not there in its abundance. So, and we might want to do that with each other. We might want to spend time looking for, or at the very least, saying and enunciating. How many times do you see something, some beautiful act or some beautiful person or some great thing, and you just kind of observe it and don't acknowledge or amplify it? Amplify it, because it amplifies you.
Oh my gosh, I got one more on this. Interfacing with social media more. You know, we talk about monitoring spirits, people who just see your stuff, they won't engage. And something clicked in my mind, and this is no salt or shade to it because I get what that is, but it goes back to the conversation. Don't expect people to do the thing for you that you won't do for yourself. And it's more like, no, when I see good, when I see somebody out putting themselves out there, putting a positive, I'm going to like it. Sometimes I'll see Alex, it's not even 2 seconds in, like, Alex share, like, man, I want to promote that. I want to broadcast that so I can have more of that, so I can have that experience.
Because in that action, you get it.
Yes.
You know, like that, if it takes 1 million likes, you're at 559,000.1.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
like the withholding of love.
Yeah.
This withholding of love, like, yeah, I see you, but I'm not. Yes, I'm not gonna share. I'm not gonna like. I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna monitor and see if you're gonna get away from me or not.
Right?
But if you were to help, you would be helped.
Yes.
Your generous experience of giving forth energy, the energy cannot be destroyed. It continues to give forth energy.
I know it's so classic and cliche, but you have to give to receive.
Yeah, it
It is
is.
so real.
That's a reality.
Takes money to make money.
That's
Like
all
all
of it. All of that. It's all a reality. The principle still exists. Don't withhold love in your judgment. Like, come out of your judgment. If it's good, say it's good. You know, if you're a teacher and the essay is an A, give it an A. Don't give it a C.
Right?
You know, don't hand the papers back with no writing on it.
That's weird.
Because then you can expect that in your next experience. Nobody's saying anything. You're up trying to do a comedy club and nobody is.
Jokes are not landing. Just hearing the crickets in the background.
Yes, and you're having the experience that you already gave out.
Yes, that's so real.
Yes.
I love how universal and applicable these concepts are.
Thank you for that
Yeah, Wonder Jet.
little conversation there.
Yeah, Gina says, my aunt has had breast cancer twice and leukemia twice, and she still doesn't talk nicely about herself, and I know that contributed to her cancer. I am learning and choosing differently because of my autoimmune diseases.
It is so relevant that you train the field to think about you the way you would like to be thought about. It is so relevant that you think highly of yourself. And if there's a voice in your head saying you're not, tell it it's a liar. If something inside of you is saying, you ain't nothing, say you're a liar, get out of my head. Don't allow yourself to not uphold yourself, because then you train the field around you so that only what comes into you upholds you. If you are against you, it's probably likely that organizations, bills, people, things are against you, doctors, lawyers, Indian chiefs, whatever it is, and you are busy deconstructing yourself.
Yes.
You know, so if you would like to live on this planet, if you would like to stay alive, support life within you.
Simple ABCs, 1, 2, 3s right there. Wondering Jet says, going through this currently, and this is, recalled when this comment came in. It was when we were speaking about staying within relationships for too long, not realizing the expiration date, talking about investments, but the investments are flopping.
Nobody really looks at the fact that if you keep a person in the same dynamic of struggle and suffering and you're there with them, that there's no exit. You do not provide an exit. If you decide that you deserve something better, or they decide to the leaf fall to the ground to recycle, the opportunity exists for something better. We were not, the prime directive is evolution, not staying together for a million lifetimes because we had a lifetime together, now we gotta keep having the lifetime. That's not the prime directive.
Every time you say that, I'm like, that's such
The
a
prime
psyop.
directive is evolution. You know, so evolve into, stop meeting me on this corner every lifetime. Let's evolve into another experience. So it's really important to know that you keep each other entrained in the fight to the death, the unfortunate fight, painful, suffering fight to the death, and you're trying to hold on to what needs to be released. If it has run its season, if expiration dates are good, you know, like if something expires, it's okay. It doesn't even come up when everything's glorious. There's no reason to expire. But when there is an expiration date, there should be an exit.
You know, I want to go back to what you were saying about how it works out for all parties, and we have seen this in many different iterations where you let someone go. It might be a little rocky for them, but some way, somehow, a lesson's in it for them to gain a golden nugget. I have seen people who have gotten better through the detachment and the release, in a myriad of different ways. And it's like, ooh, and we've had conversations like, oh, I'm glad I cut the person off, because if I didn't, they wouldn't be as great as they are right now. They
Yes.
needed it.
And we should not be afraid to allow growth.
Oh,
We
yeah,
should not
robbing
be
them of the
afraid that
growth.
the plant's going to get up as taller than our head. We shouldn't be afraid that our children are going to grow up. We
This is
shouldn't
so
be
deep.
afraid that they're going to grow up. We are not the mommy of a 3-year-old forever. It's temporary. Eventually they're 13 and then they're 30. So you're not that person. You have to abandon that identity and move into the next experience that helps you grow and then be of service to them in their growth.
I'm thinking about other ways this principle is applicable in nature, and how when I trim leaves and cut the basil, I get double back. It's like, oh my gosh, but like, if I don't, only so much will be available.
There isn't anything in nature that suggests that everything must stay the same forever. There isn't.
No, but we're like, don't stay. Stay. Stay small forever, stay a baby.
There isn't anything that says it can only, whatever its design is what it moves into. It's the fullness of whatever its design is. At no point is there something that says, okay, don't touch it anymore because it can't exist to have more.
Yeah.
That change is part of life.
Season cycles.
Yeah.
Get with it. This is so good. We're almost done with these comments here. We have Stacy OTS. She says, the religious indoctrination teaches us to suffer and stay in marriages specifically. I knew me and my ex was suffering and finally asked the ancestors how to be free. Sometimes those ancestors keep you bonded. Do the same thing that we want you to do, that you're familiar with.
Well, there's also this idea that there's nothing that there currently, and this may change, there is not a law that doesn't say that you can get together and love each other without bringing in the government to assist you, because what do you need their assistance with?
Well, yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
So when you...
This Trinity marriage,
Yeah,
this polyamorous relationship.
Yeah, you can be in relationship with whomever, you can have children, you can be family. This is, humanity has always done this before there were court systems and before there were situations where you felt that you went in so that you could share this person's Social Security, or you
whatever,
could get
tax benefits
a
and
tax
breaks.
benefit. Those are not adequate.
It certainly is not enough.
When you're ready to leave, it is not an adequate reason to stay.
Like you're over here with the scales, like tax break.
When a person wants to get married, they use things like this, like, these are the benefits. But when you're ready to leave, those are not.
Has zero weight.
They don't have the weight. So we're choosing, and when we choose to have a traditional experience, we can choose to have the traditional suffering that comes along with it. And all we have to do is look at our parents and their parents and our friends and our relatives. We don't have to go into deep meditation to see how this works out and whether people are joyfully dancing through their days with the joy of their experiences. That is not usually the case.
I'm going to continue because that's I'm telling you, my mind is going into previous conversations that you've spoken on of how the contract, it's magic, it's a spell. There's like all this energy around it, and
you willingly bring them in, so now they have control over you. Now they have control over the movement of your children. Now they have control over your income, and people think, women in particular, think that's in their favor, but it is not.
No, it's something funny about this, because I've had conversations with people over the years who are like apprehensive with marriage, and like, it's like weird because like the moment you get married, it's like everything changes, and it's like it's this component that I see. It's like the contract, the magic that's associated. It's like a spell, like something else is overlaid where it's not just who you were before.
No.
It's that Trinity.
But nothing
component.
stops you from getting with somebody saying, I love you, you love me, let's do this. Nothing stops you.
Like, forget Uncle Sam.
Yeah, nothing.
We don't need no
stops you
creepy
from,
uncles
like,
anyway.
Hey, let's move in together and let's have some children. Nothing stops you
No,
from
it doesn't,
doing that.
but
if you bring in what you think is the authority
Aha.
who's going to protect you, you've already lost. You've already lost. And we don't think about that.
It's so funny when you say this. I'm thinking of how the government speaks to us in such a way where we are children who cannot think for ourselves, and it's like, no, I need the government to be in this. I need the consenting adult to co-sign on this experience.
Yeah.
No, you're old enough. You can do it.
You could if you wanted to.
If-
People do. People have always done
True.
it. People have not always had to go ask somebody, is it okay with you at City Hall? Is it all right with you if I do
Will you
this?
sign off on this and give me the document of approval, please?
And then will you fight for whatever the imaginary rights that you say I have when I'm ready for them?
Oh, stir me up. Stir me up. Mm. All right, we're going to keep it moving. We got some other comments here. Leon Eddie says, I had a download yesterday. She had a download. To inspire beauty is also a service to mankind.
Absolutely.
It made me more present in seeking of the beauty in the world that is already around me.
Absolutely. That is so the truth. The beauty is high vibrational. This is why the wealthiest people in the world want beauty around them. They want gardens, and they want beautiful buildings, and they want art, and they want things that represent that. It is high vibrational, and the love of it is even higher. And then to make it, love it, acknowledge it, that's the wealth expansion that we just talked about.
Indeed it is. This is beautiful. I'm going to read this last comment. Wonder and Jess says, truth, oh my God, beautifully explained. I don't know which part, but that just came in. So we want to just drop a couple of announcements before we go. So there's a couple of links in the description for upcoming classes. LaOta is going to be teaching sun calibration. So if you or someone you know needs to learn how to speak to the body or desires to be in the truth, for example, stop having the outer authority, going to Google, going to your doctor, this, that, and the third. This is not medical advice. Don't get it twisted. This is for YouTube. However, the point is the answers are within yourself. And within this class, LaOta will teach you how to establish clear yes and no responses from your biology, and even more so, how to frame the questions correctly and get out of your own way so that you can get the truth that your biology was divinely established within. This is on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Tuesday of August from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And then on Thursdays, we have Energy Hygiene 101. I'll be teaching that class, and this is our foundational entry-level class of teaching you how to adopt an energy hygiene lifestyle. All the wonderful things that we discuss, energy hygiene is at the foundation of all of it, how to keep yourself clean, clear, pristine. It allows you to stay in your personal power. It allows everything to grow, so grow with us. Learn how to adopt this into your lifestyle. This is on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Thursday, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And then make sure you're tuning in to all of the free live streams that we have on the LaOta of the Sun YouTube channel. Like every Thursday, we're here vibing out with you all. Free vibes here. Matter of fact, the only thing that it costs you is your attention.
So I'd like to share one thing about the calibration class. The side effect is deep, abiding respect and honor for self and what you can do.
Yeah.
Once you know you live in the answers and it's from you, you don't have to pick up anything. You don't have to get a book. You don't have to carry a chain. You don't have to do any of that. It is all you. That's the side effect.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's very empowering.
Yes.
Very empowering.
So we thank you so much for joining us. We hope you'll join us next week. We'll be talking more about relationships in Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect.